Hey Capricorn, this is your bi-weekly reading for the time from July 17th with the new moon in Cancer to the full moon on August 1st in Aquarius. And obviously I'm talking about tropical, or maybe not obviously, but I'm saying it now, so now it is obvious. So we are looking at that period of time. We are also taking a look at this in a very quick and short way. These are very quick, short readings. So if you want the more extensive reading and want to know like beginning, middle, end of the month, challenges, all of those kinds of things, more cards, then I will link the video for the monthly up on the screen so that you can go take a look at that if you haven't already, review it, or see how you can put this all into context with that. Also, the second half of July astrological highlights video is out. I have that up. I'm feeling this card here. Whoa. Sorry. I'll explain that reaction in a moment. First, let me say, so I will have that linked also, both of those videos at the end of this video. And also, just to make sure that you don't miss any of the bi-weekly videos, monthlies, astrological videos, and stuff that I have on the horizon, make sure that you hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you know when those videos drop. Without further ado, let's dive into your reading. And what we're looking at here is what is being focused on, what is being pointed out to you to pull in your focus, to draw your attention in so you can put time, energy, and attention into these particular areas of your life, or this area of your life that would be of most benefit, right? Like, so some new moons, not all new moons, are really great for that whole like setting seeds and like, sowing, your seeds and the intentions that you're building and like the manifestation and all the stuff, right? Not all new moons are great for that because of the astrology that could be occurring. I think that this particular new moon is more instructive. However, that said, the caveat to that is that no matter what, the moon is, no matter what's happening astrologically, it is building energy up to the full moon. And so we have this opportunity every month where we can take advantage of and utilize these energies for our benefit. So the reason I'm looking at what area of your life you can put time, energy, and attention into, even if this isn't your main focus in life, why it's being pointed out is because if you were to work and put some attention into this area of your life, it would basically ripple out into other areas. So if you've noticed like before in your life that, maybe you've been trying to get, let's say, a project going for business, and you end up focusing your time in like having clearing conversations with friends and like reconnecting with other friends or whatever it is. And then suddenly like the energy starts to move and becomes unstuck and things start to move again. That's what we're looking at here. So the reason I laughed is because, and I said whoa in that manner, is because you guys saw me shuffle. These are the exact cards that just came up for Sagittarius. It's hilarious to me that that just happened. So I'm just gonna roll with it, and we're gonna talk about this again, but from the perspective of like what's coming through for me for Capricorns, right? So what area are we looking at? We're looking at the fifth house. Fifth house, I'm going to say again, like I said in the last video, this is probably my most favorite house. It is a house of play and fun and creativity and things that are aesthetically pleasing. It is the house that would involve romance and sex, and it can also involve kids too, right? So whether you're a parent or not, this could be like working with kids or being around kids or, something like that, or also just being reminded of the kind of like playfulness and freedom that kids exhibit and being inspired by that kind of energy. So it's a really beautiful house. It's a house that's ruled by Libra, and therefore, Libra being ruled by Venus. So it has a lot of these Venusian kinds of qualities to them. So, we can take a look at, it would be hard for me not to at least mention that the astrology that we have going on right now, I think would be definitely connected to this because, we have Venus has been in pre-retrograde shadow for the last few weeks, and now this week it's finally going into its retrograde. And all of that information you can find, I really explain all of this in more depth and it's timestamped, the video for the astrological highlights. So I won't really go into it here, but just say, like, just all to say that I think that it would be worth at least looking at the Venus retrograde information, which is linked or timestamped, and just getting a better understanding of what this is all about. So that aside, that's the area of life that you're being asked to focus your time, energy, and attention into that would really help move things forward, right? And again, this could be like getting more creative with like what you're doing in like, let's say, projects, business, work, home, family life, relationships, of course, because this has to do with like dating and, you know, and sex. Let's not forget that. Like, this is a house that I think is like fun debauchery, right? Yes, of course, it can get out of hand just like any house can get out of hand, but I smile. I think it's a great house. It's my favorite house. I love spending time here. So what kind of spiritual advice do we have coming through with that? We have the King of Laurels, right? And this is an earth suit. This would be in any other deck, the King of like Pentacles or Coins, right? So the King of Laurels, all kings have to do with and point to responsibility and leadership, and really stepping into that kind of role, right? And we have the quality of the earth element that is here as well, which is grounding and more slow moving and more intentional. And I would say even more strategic. Things that are being built that will be grounding and stabilizing, laying down the groundwork for that. Things that will stand the test of time, right? Now, we couldn't talk about the earth suit without talking about finances as well, right? So it doesn't have to mean that we're talking about finances. This can definitely, like, we're talking about the tangible world, right? Like, you know, what is actually physically tangible in your world. But finances definitely would be one of those things, right? When we're talking about money, we would be talking about this with regard to like the tarot cards. So, you know, looking at this together, I feel like this is a blend of balancing these energies, right? Looking at, you know, how you are stepping into, I would say if you're going to be in a place of personal responsibility and you're going to be in a place of like owning your leadership in your life and building things that have a foundation that is stable, whether that again be like finances or whatever it is, that there is this mindfulness, there is this thought being given to time and attention being put into looking at how that can be built. What would that look like? What would that feel like? You know, given that we have that whole Venus retrograde that's happening this week, especially looking at your, because Venus also does have to do with finances, right? And luxury, I could say as well. And so wanting to take a look at like, how are you managing your finances, or how are you managing your energy in a way, holding yourself in a kingly way, right? With that leadership, that responsibility. How are you holding this energy? How are you creating things that will stand the test of time, but also allowing yourself to let go and just have fun and just play and be creative and blend these energies together? In what way can you bring this forward and really build on this? You know, and again, because this covers so many different things, this can feel more social. So it can have to do with like socially, yes. Could have to do with like relationships, yes, and sex, yes, and all the different ways that we can be creative, and finances and whatnot. So I feel like there is this, you know, all of these things are really up anyways in the astrology. And I feel like coming from remembering to bring in that grounding and remembering to bring in that presence and that mindfulness and that, you know, those qualities would be of most benefit here. So I really love these energies being blended together. I think it's a good tether so that it's like you can't go too far into like one land, like the playful debaucherous land. It's like you got to kind of like come back and bring it to ground it in, to anchor it in, but remembering to also let go, to play, right? To be in that space, to be seen in that way. You know, I definitely feel like that creative energy coming through, not just because of the visual that we have here, but like, yes, definitely feel a lot of that creativity energy coming through for you guys. So I hope that this was helpful and insightful. And if it was, please consider giving the video a like. It does help with the algorithm gods. And I will have those videos up on the screen if they're not already up already for your monthly reading for Capricorn, or for the astrological highlights video for the second half of July, which is timestamped. So thanks for your time. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.